What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dead Malls, and welcome everyone to day 2 of the Michigan expedition here on our great Season 5 adventure. Today, as we set out across the peninsula, we set our sights on the Motor City. But before that, and to start us off, we have Battle Creek's Lakeview Square Mall. An 80s mall, often referred to as Michigan's most beautiful mall. And while I'm not 100% sold on that idea yet, maybe by the end of this video, who knows, I'll have my mind changed. I'll tell you what, guys, I woke up feeling like $1,000,000 that morning. I had a hotel right outside the mall, so walking in pretty much as early as possible felt so refreshing. Especially just stretching my feet after my god-awful 10-hour drive the day prior. But before we get started here, I'd like to shout out our winner who was able to successfully guess the next mall. Very nice job, Jeremy. If you'd like to have your chance of being shouted out in the next episode, stick around for the next challenge. Anyways, let's head in here, take a gander, and tell the story of Michigan's most beautiful mall. I was almost a little confused when I first walked into Lakeview Square. It was like, boom, Applebee's right in your face, and then B-dubs on the right, and then the thin slit of the mall right in the middle. Before we get started here with the history, I'm gonna let you prepare yourselves for a dead mall. The food court here, which really it feels similar to Kennedy Mall in Dubuque, it conditions you for the sights you're gonna see. Yeah, this food court feels really strange, a lot of curtains, and it's so narrow. To my Battle Creek peeps, did Buffalo Wild Wings take over parts of the old food court? Let me know below. Also, if you look really closely at those wall murals, actually I wouldn't call them murals, wall advertisements, you got the very signature GK treatment with the experience real shopping. We saw very similar sights in Peru Mall, and you can tell that these malls are sisters of blood, and that they share the same amount of depressing advertising. Signature Dead Mall old corner store turned arcade corner here. Once again in my Battle Creek residence, so what was in this tiny spot? I had a little bit of hope when I first walked in here, but the theaters and Claire's is really just about the only life in here. As we venture further in, you'll see what I mean. Lakeview Square's story begins about 43 years ago in the small city of Battle Creek, Michigan. By the late 70s, the growing city still had no mall despite the national trend, and Forbes Cohen Properties looked to correct that, with the two men, Sidney Forbes and Maurice Cohen, personally overseeing the project. By 1980, a plot of land was picked out just south of I-94 on a parcel occupied by the Brickyard Creek. This was no issue, however, as the land was purchased and the creek was rerouted, all while the land was being excavated and mall plans were finalized. Sears, JCPenney, and Detroit-based Hudson's had sign-on as the mall's primary anchors, with over 80 inline tenants planned. And like a broken record, downtown Battle Creek prepped for the worst, as the brand new mall neared opening. Lakeview Square Mall would fully open on August 3rd, 1983, and to say it was a big deal at the time was a serious understatement. As I describe the opening, try to picture yourself there, among the massive crowd of eager shoppers all waiting for those doors to open. The parking lots were filled with cars, bumper to bumper, while hundreds more navigated the parking just to see the shiny new mall. Over 10,000 people from all over the South Central Michigan area were in attendance that day to see balloons fly and to see those beautiful shining doors open. Inside was a world of magic and modern shopping wonder. The mall was constructed in a unique zigzag pattern, with each zig and zag featuring steps and ramps for the different levels of elevation. Sears and JCPenney sat on opposing ends of the mall, while Hudson's in the center tied the layout together with their massive new anchor store. Among the several courts, including the massive center court, were dozens of planters and fountains, featuring palm plants of the most wondrous splendor. Some of the mall's premier stores included Walden Books, Wicks and Sticks, KB Toys, Big Boys, Aladdin's Castle, Record Town, Hot Sam, and so many more. For weeks, celebrations and inaugurations would continue as dozens more stores would open in the mall, and the dazzling courts would be consistently filled with people for years to come. Also, this center court, maybe, I don't know. My mind is slowly being changed. Maybe this is Michigan's most beautiful mall. I mean, how can you say no to those massive blue skylights? It's just so weird seeing it now, this cold, empty cavern, and then seeing how it was in its heyday with all of those plants and people and stores. Oh, I would kill to see it then. By the late 90s, the mall was thriving. However, the owners were looking for any way to expand its success. And so, in 1995, the expansion would come, in the form of a brand new movie theater in the Sears wing. By 98, General Growth was beginning to show interest in the mall, and that same year would purchase it from Forbes Cohen, performing their traditional GGP makeover, removing the court planters and trees, and modernizing all the fixtures, giving the mall the look it has today. It was that same year of 98 that some of the larger tenants would begin moving into the mall. Hudson's would also be bought out by the new growing giant of Marshall Field's in 2001, with the central anchor being rebranded accordingly. Then changing the nameplate once again in 2006 when Marshall Field's would become Macy's. By the late 2000s, Lakeview Square was changing rapidly. Tenants were closing and exchanging hands, merging and switching, and with the recession would begin leaving for more, let's say, permanent pastures. Steve & Barry's would open up, then close just a year later in 2008, and as the 2010s would begin, the mall would exchange hands several more times, ultimately beginning its final fall from grace. Guys, why are these community rooms never open to the public? I mean, it's in the name, right? Come on. You know how badly I want to just go in there and sit at one of the white fold-up tables? But no, it's whatever. It's fine. I'm just saying, they should probably rename it to something a little less misleading, like, I don't know, table exhibit? I don't know, maybe that's just me. As we get closer here to the old JCPenney, you get to see some of that early 80s architecture at work, with the beautiful retro sort of gold brownish color of the mirrored entrance. Oh, I always find myself in love whenever I see one of these. Also, I don't really know what's going on here. As of now, I know that the old JCP is being converted into some sort of farmer's market, but as of when I went back in July, tractor show? I mean, I guess you gotta do something with a building that big. I love these pictures on the Dunhams, like they really trying to get you to get into this weightlifting, hunting, basketball. With these really blurry pictures of people in the sports. That makes me want to go in there and get some sports gear. Yeah, I want another one of those. Just give me something with golf or football. Oh, it's so dumb. Beginning Lakeside's hot potato phase of life, in 2011, the dying mall would be sold to Chicago-based Cushman & Wakefield, who would ultimately pass it off to GK Development in 2013. These are the same people that bought Peru Mall from the last episode. Going forward, promises of bringing new life to the mall were being made, but nothing would ever happen in common GK style. And with the coming years, more tenants would continue to leave as GK would hike up rent, pushing any business away. As I walked towards this tiny north wing, I just couldn't help being taken away by those skylights. The vibes in this mall, the blues and all the colors. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh crap. Okay, fine, you got me, I'll admit it. This is Michigan's most beautiful mall. Much better than, the seagull-infested mess over in Benton Harbor. To any Battle Creek residents, what stores did this miniature wing once hold? Especially this one I'm looking into right now. What was this mini store? By 2017, the first major losses would begin, when just days after New Year's in January, Macy's would announce the closure of their store at Lakeview Square, ending the Central Anchor's run of almost 35 years. And later that March, JCPenney would do the same amid 138 others, with the mirrored storefront closing and letters being taken down by July of that same year. Now anchored solely by the yelling Sears and still losing tenants daily, Lakeview Square was just being forgotten. And despite being one of the cleanest malls in Michigan, it was still only dotted by the occasional walker. Throughout 2018 and into 2019, more tenants would leave, including the beloved Phi, and finally, in February, Sears on the chopping block would close, leaving the mall completely anchorless. It seems like the rock revival didn't quite work out here. Godspeed Suncoast, or M5, whichever one that was. Best thing about exploring dead malls is the weird uses you find for the old stores. Like a driving school? Oh honey, where are you going today? Driving school. Oh yeah, that's nice. Where's that at? Oh, you know, the mall. The old KB toys. No, I sit in the old Lego section, not the girly toys. Not for me. By 2021, the now dead Lakeview Square was nothing but an echo of the past. And it's honestly just hard to imagine that huge empty central court with those towering blue skylights was once the place of wonder in the 80s, that it would have been filled with people of all sorts busying themselves about different things, all among the atmosphere of the many neon-lit stores, fountains, and plants. By June of 2021, the old Macy's would be blocked off from the mall and occupied by a self-storage. An article by Bridge, Michigan explains and perfectly illustrates the almost Route 66 ghost town state of limbo that the mall is in. And I read in quotes, 60,000 vehicles per day pass Lakeview Square Mall in Battle Creek, giving drivers on I-94 a front row view of what happens when a regional shopping center loses its anchor stores. There, the empty parking lots and brick-building shells that once housed some of the nation's largest retailers tell an old story about failing malls and struggling department stores. So what do you think the future holds for Lakeview Square Mall? Do you guys see this place ever coming back, or has its time passed and we should all just move on? Let me know your thoughts down below. Lakeview Square Mall was an absolutely beautiful mall. Like I said, I admit it, it's pretty amazing. And if any of you are ever in the area, highly recommend stopping by here and supporting some of these local businesses. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. Actually recording all of this audio on the road while in Texas, in a motel right now. It's been kind of a doozy, so thank you for bearing with me. If you guys enjoy my Dead Mall content, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future Dead Malls episodes, and head over to the Patreon for a monthly Dead Mall Polaroid taken and signed by me. Next week, as we continue towards Detroit, we make one more stop in a town with a mall featuring an anchor with a star logo. Guess which mall we'll be at, and I'll shout you out in the next episode. Anyways, until then, have yourselves a lovely evening, and peace out guys, see you later.